Sometimes when you play Counter-Strike, it can feel like round after round you're running into a brick wall. Whether it be dying immediately when someone peeks you, players finding timings on you, or even just losing straight up 1v1. And for a lot of people, this is what makes them quit Counter-Strike altogether. But what if I told you there were 3 simple ways you can fix all of those situations and instantly start winning more duels? I'm RyderDie, a FACEIT level 10 player from North America who's played in every single rank on the FACEIT ladder to include top 1000 challenger. And today I'm going to share with you what I've learned during my climb so you can start dying less and start winning more duels. But before we get started, I quickly want to share with you a knife giveaway I'm hosting as a thank you for almost 40,000 subscribers. If you're interested in participating, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the RyderDie Discord. Link to that will be in the description. And if this video gets more than 2,000 likes, I'll double down and give away another knife skin. Alright, with that out of the way, let's quickly talk about the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes. In defense mode, you defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. Trade fire is like a pre-fire mode, but enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get a 2D demo viewer with advanced analysis. Use code RYDER40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3. The most common way players can feel helpless and unable to win duels is dying as soon as someone swings you. 99.9% of the time when this happens, it's likely due to your positioning. Take this as an example. You're anchoring A on nuke and your teammate outside dies, as well as your teammate trying to help from mini. Your heaven player is unable to spot mini, so you decide to smoke hut and isolate fights towards the end of sight. Some players will choose to hold this angle here, which isn't necessarily bad, but when we think about how T's will clear through mini, this angle is one of the first angles their crosshairs should be on. Therein lies our problem. There's nothing wrong with playing predictable angles, but due to peeker's advantage, you now have the disadvantage. Instead, what a lot of players will do, including myself sometimes, is hide behind back sight, then swing to peek mini. And if we spot nothing, we simply unpeek and then prepare to do the same thing. But this isn't the only way to solve this problem. What you can also try to do is find an off angle where you could potentially multi-frag from. Something like Tetris or Asian would be good examples in this scenario. However, what you'll see a lot of higher level players doing is taking space elsewhere. In this scenario, we lost total control of outside. So instead of sitting idly by waiting to play the tease game, we can take some space of our own. In this exact scenario, instead of smoking hut, walking into hut is likely the best play. That way we can isolate our fights so only a few angles and potentially secure space for our team, which provides information and a bit of breathing room for ourselves. Although with that play specifically, we're now likely to engage in a 1v1 with another player, which leads me to my next method of winning more duels, and that is winning more straight up 1v1s. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Winning more straight up 1v1 duels takes a tremendous amount of time and effort to improve at. It will not happen overnight, and you'll constantly be outgunned by more experienced players. How I see it, you have 2 options. You can go the donk route and simply spam games non-stop until you get enough reps to have higher level mechanics, or you can leverage the endless amount of tools at your disposal to essentially fast track your progress. Now, I'm not anywhere near Donk's level of skill, let alone anyone at the tier 1 level, but what I do have experience in is improving quickly. Some of you may already know this, but I started playing Counter-Strike the day Counter-Strike 2 was released. Just under 6 months after that, I hit level 10 on FACEIT, all while having hardly any considerable time spent in other tactical FPSs. My method for improving at the rate I did had a lot to do with how much time I spent deathmatching. If you're new here, then you don't know this, but I've always been a strong advocate for using deathmatching as a tool for improvement, just as long as your approach is healthy and improvement oriented. For those of you that are curious to what side I use, I primarily use Prac, but now I've switched over to warm-up servers. Links to both of those websites are in the description under deathmatching. And if you choose to start deathmatching as a part of your routine, there's something that recently has helped me with my mechanics, which is a philosophy that my team shared with me, and that is stop, aim, shoot. And it is exactly what it sounds like. While you spend time in these servers, regardless of the engagement, it's important that you properly counter-strafe, aim, and then only shoot when you're certain you'll land the shot. Doing this over and over and over again will yield incredible results and will not only give you a higher headshot accuracy, but also a higher counter-strafe rate and overall more consistency. And if you're moving over to Counter-Strike as a new player, another thing that helped me a lot was pre-fire maps. At the time I was using Prac for their pre-fire maps, but I cannot recommend SCL enough. Link to their website again is in the description. But it's important that you don't just hop into a pre-fire map for 10 minutes then disconnect. You'll only ever see significant improvement in your crosshair placement if you actually spend quality time using these tools. When I was first learning the game, I spent time every single day completing a different map. And sometimes I would do the same map over and over again to really build good fundamentals. With all that said though, it's important to remember that improving at Counter-Strike takes a long time. And like I said, it will not happen overnight. Deliberate practice daily will always win in the end. But even if you do practice every day, there's a chance that you'll still have bad games and still lose fights that you should likely win. And that is likely due to one reason, which leads me to my next point. I'm not a therapist or a psychologist for that matter, but I do know that Counter-Strike is 50% mental. I'm sure everyone watching this, whether it be experience from CS or other games, has seen what tilt can do to someone's performance. Whether it be yourself or your teammates, it can 100% cost you a game. But something that's not talked about enough is confidence. And this could be the culprit to why you're losing duels you should otherwise win. More times than not, lack of confidence usually stems from uncertainty. More specifically, being uncertain about how you should or should not be playing around. If you're making a play that you already feel as if you shouldn't be making, lack of confidence will likely spill over into the engagements you get into as a result. Instead, the approach that I've adopted is to be as decisive as I can be. Commit to the play I'm making, and if ultimately ends up being a bad play, then it becomes a learning experience. And if it ends up being a good play, it also ends up being a learning experience and something I can reference consciously or unconsciously in the future. But lack of confidence doesn't just end up being uncertain about what play you're making. Confidence plays a key role in your ability to win gunfights. And to be fair, I really don't know the science behind it, but what I do know is once I get into my head about what the scoreboard is saying about my performance, I end up trending in that direction even more. But what I've also learned about CS over the years is that each round is played in isolation. The only other implication that other rounds have on future rounds is how much money your team has, and that really should be the only thing. So if you catch yourself feeling a certain way about a round that was already played and start spinning a narrative in your head about how future rounds will be played, then it's important that you pause, identify those thoughts, and remind yourself that each round is a new round. And before I move on, something that's helped me with my confidence is something that we already talked about, and that is practice. The more time I spent deathmatching, doing pre-fire maps, and simply playing games, whether it be on Faceit or Premiere, the better I felt going into whatever match it was that I was going into. Whether I thought about it or not, the practice that I had recently put in gave me reassurance that I've put in the work and the results will likely follow. And if you have your own training routine, I'm sure your results will also likely follow. Alright, that's all I got. Don't forget, in order to be entered in the knife giveaway, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the RyderDie Discord, where you'll be able to find all the details you need on the knife giveaway. Also, be sure to use code RYDER40 to get 40% off your first month with SEL. As always, thanks for watching.